Zadu!
That's Wayne's World crazy!
Thin crust, deep dish, Chicago. Would you like to get some pizza? Meaty, veggie, or cheesy? What's your favorite slice of pizza? Sit down, hang out, now, come and join us eating pizza. We're just some people getting pizza.
Zadudes, and welcome to People Getting Pizza, a show made by me, starring three of my favorite friends.
I'm Michelle.
And I'm Mickey.
And I'm Sarah.
And we're
Getting Pizza.
We're going to be going a little retro. We're going to be talking about 2017 in review.
But it's 2018.
But you know, it's currently 2018, so it's retro. You know what I'm saying? And retrospective, my guy. My guy. I remember this one time I called one of my professors my guy, or like dude or something.
That's awkward.
And like, not only did he look at me weird, but I heard like students being like, why is he calling him that? Like, stop.
That's
and I'm just like,
uncomfortable.
that's how I talk. I call people my guy. I call people dude. I say suh.
Dude, I'm 21 in 2018, and I call people daddy-o. So,
Yeah. I call
That's
people
something.
daddy both like as a meme and not as a meme sometimes.
Ooh, okay.
Like Michelle, total daddy.
rocking that dad bod.
Water.
Can you pass the Tabasco?
Here you go, this
Thank you.
biscuit.
Alright, so to start us off, I think one of the things that's probably been on all of our watch lists is shit on Netflix, honestly.
Just
like, just take a
Bring
giant.
back Always Sunny.
Bring
Like-
back The Office.
Wait,
Like,
it's still on there.
But they're getting
Huh?
rid of it.
Wait, they're getting rid of The Office?
they're getting rid of The Office?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never watched it, but.
I thought they did. I thought they did already, but
No, definitely have not. I've definitely
I'm from Scranton.
I thought you were
I thought you were from Canada.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought you were from
Okay, I am originally from Toronto, Ontario. Yes. However, I have lived in Scranton for the past 15 years, minus 4 for being in college. But I grew up in Scranton, so
It's the Electric City.
I can't hear
Scranton.
enough about
Electric
The
City.
Office.
They're taking it off.
No, please God, no.
I'm glad I was an adult when Walker Texas Ranger was a show, being from Texas. So like, I'm glad I kind of missed that bullet.
I love that Always Sunny is about Philadelphia.
Yeah.
because I'm from Philly and I love that show. So no problems there.
But yeah, now you know.
But
They're
like,
taking it off.
there was a
Podcast
lot
Ranch,
of.
please.
What's up? Oh yeah, the ranch.
Thank you very much.
I love ranch on pizza, honestly. But I like honestly Netflix last year was huge. It came out with shows like Stranger Things season 2. It came out with shows like Mindhunter. It came out with like another season of Black Mirror, which is great. Like if you haven't watched Black Mirror, so good. Like every episode is like it's different.
You make cry.
It makes you think. You may cry.
I cried.
You may get mad. And they're all super crazy in their own world, man.
I just started it, and episode 2
Which
or
one
wait.
is that?
was episode 1 or episode
What
2. Season
new
1.
season?
Season
Oh,
1.
season 1.
Yeah, season 1. Episode 1 or episode 2.
Episode one's where he, what's the pig?
Yeah. Okay. So episode 1. Episode 1 was just like B. I can't.
First
Episode one's
episode.
uncomfortable. It's like really uncomfortable. You're like, whoa, this is like
Yeah.
a big open for that, but
But it works.
My favorite episode, probably, of season 1 was 15 million credits. Merits?
is that the one where he rides bike?
Yeah.
I love that one.
I think it's
Oh, it's
15
so
million
good.
credits.
It's so good. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah, I watch it.
Oh, that was like my favorite.
Right.
I've also seen one episode from season 4. It's a Star Trek knockoff one.
That was okay. I wasn't a big fan of that, but a lot of people were. It was definitely like one of the best rated ones, but I just didn't resonate. I think it's such a weird show because different shows resonate with different people.
Yeah.
Like when I don't know if you've watched this one, but it's about the mother and like the with the thing in the girl's head. And I literally sat there. That's when I cried for like an hour afterwards.
Are you talking about
And I was
season
like-
4?
Yeah. And I was like, I
think
can't be a
That was
mom.
only one. I saw
It's
season
like a
4.
sci-fi Twilight Zone.
Oh,
Yeah. For sure.
but yeah.
I know you really miss the Twilight Zone. I mean, I know they kind of brought it back with Forrest Whitaker. This wasn't the same though, you know? Like old school black and white. Twilight Zone was like one of my like favorite shows to watch as a kid. That and Doctor Who. I was a really big Doctor Who guy back then. I don't even know why. I guess it's because my dad watched it. And then like back then I watched a lot of. I mean, I know this is going beyond the scope of 2017, but I watched a lot of sci-fi back then. Like I was into like all the like kind of scary type of stuff.
Sci-fi was huge.
It really was.
Not so much now.
You could get
I
it
feel like.
everywhere. There were shows like Primeval, bringing the dinosaurs back. There were shows like Doctor Who that were super popular still at the time. I don't really feel like Doctor Who's as popular anymore. Excuse me. I mean, I'm sure there are still people in the fandom, but I mean, I'm not.
Whovians all over Who though.
It's good on Reddit.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I just like, but now it's like, I don't really know what people are super into. I know Stranger Things is huge.
BoJack
Think-
Horseman.
I haven't watched
Oh my
BoJack
god,
Horseman.
BoJack Horseman is so good.
It's so good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, such a
It
good
is
show.
really good.
It's such a good show.
Sam approved.
It's such a good show.
I mean, every time I see clips and stuff from it, I'm like, I feel like I need to watch this show.
You gotta give it like 5 episodes though. You really, the first 5 episodes are setting up everybody's characters. And it's painful.
Yeah, and it's like you watch it and you're like, okay, this is just a really stupid comedy, but
Mhm.
it's not. It's so much
It's
more.
so deep.
Yeah.
You cry.
You don't.
I cry a lot.
You don't expect to feel, but you feel a lot. Yeah, but it's
Interesting.
that's why you need to watch. Like it's so. A lot of people are like, oh, I watched the first few episodes. It's really stupid. It's because I almost feel like maybe they were trying to be funny, or maybe they like wanted to give this illusion of like, oh, it's kind of sitcom-y because they're playing on the fact that BoJack wasn't a sitcom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, it's really like hard to watch at first, but then
It gets really good.
it gets super good.
Well, then I'll definitely have to check that out then.
Yeah. And they just had a new season come out in 2017, so
Yeah.
I watched that. I binged that real hard. That was-
When did the new show from the guys who did not Rigor Mortis, the Blue Jay and the Raccoon?
Oh, Rick and Morty.
Not Adventure Time either.
I know what you're talking about.
Regular show.
Regular
I
show.
was
The
like,
guys
say
who
Rick and
did
Morty.
the guys.
I showed
I
so
thought you
many
just
people
really-
regular show.
I just thought he really just wanted to talk about Rick and Morty.
regular show.
No, I want to talk about regular show or not regular show, but the
he's
people who
making a new
produced
one.
it. Yeah, they're making a new one.
And it's like, it's more like adult based now, but apparently like JG Quintel argues that it's in the same universe. The show hasn't come out yet, but it looks really good. There's a trailer out now actually.
What kind of like universe is it?
It's animated. So like it's I mean, I can't really define the regular show universe, man. Anything happens. Anything can literally go on regular
Anything.
show.
Anything's
there's
regular.
There's a
Wizards.
talking blue jay the size of a human being.
There's like
The gumball
wizards.
machine guy.
There's
He's
A
my
like
guy with a
favorite.
gumball machine for a head.
yeah, there's a guy with a gumball machine for a head, and like there's other like people like that. There's like talking space trees. They go to space. There's like, it's crazy, man. That entire show was nuts, and I love. There's like a cloud who becomes the size of a human, but when she got mad, she became like a freaking lightning cloud.
This sounds like really crazy, but it's a lot like other Cartoon Network shows of the 2000s.
People that work at Cartoon Network do acid. So because they do copious amounts of acid, they produce
But didn't it
crazy
technically-
shows.
Didn't it technically end in
Okay.
I'm just
2017?
bullshitting.
I was like, that's proven.
I think regular show did end in 2017, didn't they? I think they had their finale like early 2017.
I thought it was
I know
2016.
that they ended the show.
Mhm.
I remember that was a huge thing on my like, Twitter timeline.
I was so sad. I cried. And I was like,
A lot
no.
of tears going on.
Yeah, you guys cry a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was so good. It was such a good show. Let's see, what else was really big 2017? I know Mr. Robot was huge.
Oh, I don't talk. I really can't talk about that. I really can't. I really cannot.
I haven't really checked out
Oh,
too much Mr. Robot, but I watched season 1.
I didn't watch the second season yet, but season 1, I don't even. I had to rewatch it. Like I just literally had to rewatch it because
It's
it's just.
really interesting to see how he handled like situations.
His own self, not knowing if he's his own self. Or
Can we
he's not.
back up a
Yeah.
little bit?
What's
I
up?
have never seen the show.
Mr.
So
You never
Robot?
seen the show?
yeah, try not to spoil if you can. But what is
Okay.
it even about?
It's
Okay.
about a hacker dude,
Mhm.
and he hacks into this thing called Evil Corp, and pretty much just like takes over the entirety of it, and like kind of makes it fall. And then there's this whole like group of people, but then something happens middle of the show that changes the entire show.
Yeah.
It goes from this guy who just is like hacking and like being like fuck the world, like fucking work. We're gonna like get everybody like it's the worst place ever to work, and he works there actually, and
Mhm.
like pretty much hacks from the inside. And then something happens midway. I'm
It-
not telling you what happens.
Yeah,
because
it's
and
such a
it
good
literally
setup.
it goes like it's just a 180. You thought it was
Yeah.
about him hacking something, and you just nope, not anymore. So it's
you gotta
insane.
check it out.
You gotta check it out. It's a really good show.
Yeah.
A simulation inside a simulation. Inside a simulation. Inside a
Inside-
pineapple. Inside a pineapple. Inside a
What?
pineapple.
Have you guys ever seen Accepted? That movie where a group of dudes make their own college called the South Harmon Institute of Technology,
Oh
Shit.
yeah, I
also
have
known
heard that
as
movie.
Shit.
Shit.
There's
Yeah.
a dude who majors, because everybody gets to pick their own major. He majors in blowing up pineapples with his mind, man.
It's like
I
Manu Sarah
remember
Goods.
I feel like you told that exactly the way it's presented. in the
Yeah,
movie.
that's what I was thinking.
It's crazy. I love it. It's so good. I just said 3 good things about it without meaning to. But yeah, it's a great show. If you haven't checked that out yet, it's really old now. It's so old. It's like one of those like my DVD is like the hard texture DVD. Yeah, that's wild. But why did I bring out pineapples? So let's see. There was a lot of other interesting movies that came out in 2017. Well, I mean now because like you can't talk about television shows without talking about
The
what else
Disaster
comes on
Artist.
TV. The Disaster Artist, for example.
I know you didn't see it.
I mean, not a lot of us
I did
saw
not
it.
hit her.
But-
I did not hit her. I did
I mean,
not.
A lot of
Oh,
us are
hi,
familiar
Mark.
with what The Room is.
Yes.
Like, oh hi doggy. And I think the reason why it was actually really wholesome, besides the movie even being made, was that James Franco did actually a lot for Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah.
Like he took him to a bunch of different places. He refused to do interviews unless Tommy Wiseau was there, and like it was really wholesome because like. I mean, sure, it might have been a little bit embarrassing for Tommy Wiseau to be like, yeah, your movie's really bad, but look, we're doing this for you.
I think he really liked the attention though, because like, The Room was such a huge like, disaster.
Yeah.
He was like super famous from it, and so I think he kind of liked like at first he was like, oh god, but like he did kind of like accept the fame over time, and then this just completely like revitalized it and put him back in the spotlight. I think I heard some things about him trying to make another movie. I don't know if you heard anything about that, but
Well, him and the guy who played Mark, they're in a movie together.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, it's like written and produced by totally other people, but
Oh.
it's called Friends or Best Friends or something like that.
Really?
Look it up.
I just think
I'll
it's-
definitely have to look that up.
It's definitely really wholesome when you can just admit your mistakes, and just kind of laugh at them
Mhm.
in a way. Like he knows that Room was a terrible movie,
Yeah.
but he like understands like not everything you do in the world is like great. So
Yeah.
I like when people are able to laugh at their mistakes.
Yeah,
and
like
laugh at
me,
yourself.
I laugh every day.
That creepily.
No.
Something else.
Thanks.
so at the end of the movie, this isn't really spoilery, but at the end of the escape artist, not the escape artist.
Skateboarders. I did not hit her. I did not hit her. I did not. Mark.
The
Oh, hi,
disaster
Mark.
artist. I have a bunch of fun facts about Tommy Wiseau and like true stuff. And something that they said was they still don't know his age, they still don't know where he's from, and they
Really?
still don't know the source of like how he had so much money to produce the movie.
Wait, they still have no idea where
Yeah,
he...
and that's super interesting. Like, how do you like? What even
I
is
think
his
we need to
accent?
make a movie
Does-
on him.
Yeah.
Does Tommy Wiseau have like a?
Is that even his real name?
Does he have a mental
Yeah, right. It's
deficiency?
weird. It's super weird. Like,
I don't
what
know,
if he
I
was like
haven't
a
seen-
what
I
if he was
haven't
like a
seen
like
the,
a criminal and he like got
disaster
that money, like it's dirty money or something? He made the room out of it. Like, what?
He,
Is,
he argues that his accent is from all sorts of different places.
yeah.
Like,
I think he's mentally not right.
Hmm,
Like there's
for sure. For sure.
I mean, you have to. There has to be something going on
Yeah.
for you to like be able to like be that eccentric. You know.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say anything about the guy. I just think that's like a part
I
of
mean,
it.
not necessarily like a deficiency or anything, but like a lot of people have differently wired brains from just being brought up in certain ways. Like if you had like an eccentric parent, that's gonna rub off on you majorly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I just wonder, like, he must have a dark past, right? Like, I like thinking of like conspiracy theories behind him because, like, why wouldn't you just say where you're from? Like, who cares? Like, America's a melting pot. No one cares where you're from.
Tommy Sitho.
Oh, I'm American. I'm an American. Like,
I don't even think that's his real name.
Yeah, right.
It could be like Wallace.
If he's that so into like not
I
telling where
used
he's
to
from,
get-
there's no way that's not an alien. Because if you were to use his real name, someone would find him.
Yeah, like
Someone
who
would be able to
even-
track him
like-
down and figure out where he was from.
Like who still calls themselves Tommy at age like 60?
60 something.
Tommy P.
But I mean
60?
but I mean Tommy Wiseau.
Well, Wiseau sounds kind of French, and he
Wiseau
sounds
sounds
kind of
fake.
French, so
Kinda.
maybe
I
he's
think
French.
it's fake. Done.
Tommy
Fake.
Wiseau.
Wiseau sounds faux
Italian.
to me.
Yeah.
Wiseau sounds fro.
Faux,
It sounds like you're saying
F-O-A-U-X.
Wizzo in a really weird way.
Fake.
You know, you're a Wizzo.
Wiseau, yeah.
You're-
You're a Wiseau, Harry.
You're a Wiseau, Tommy.
You're a wizard, Harry. Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Always comes back.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Harry Potter. Harry
The
Potter.
age at which I first watched Harry Potter was 5, by the way.
I think I was 6.
Mhm.
Maybe I was 5. It depends on when it came out.
How old are you?
2001.
I'm 21, but I was born November 1st. So
Oh.
if it came out,
You were kind of alive.
I don't know.
It's alive.
It's
Fun fact.
The, rewatch
after
it.
that first movie or first few, I don't remember what from what. I saw every single Harry Potter movie the day before it came out.
What'd you do?
My dad was
Like
works
the
in
early
podcast,
showing,
so like
yeah.
we used to get like tickets
Nice.
to like
Wow.
watch it the day before. I used to
I-
get like these little like wizard Harry things and like
Yeah.
glasses.
I got to see that shitty Wolverine movie like 2 weeks before it was in theaters.
Wolverine. Oh, what
I
else
mean-
came out?
Oh yeah,
Logan.
Logan came
Logan.
out. Logan came out, and that was a great movie. Like I cried for literally 20
Shitty
minutes.
Wolverine movie.
after-
Okay, let's just jump into Logan with no context.
We're bringing it back to 2017.
We're bringing back to 2017.
Bring it right.
Logan was honestly like I did not expect it to be that good. It was one of the first rated R Marvel films besides Deadpool, and it really showed like what they were able to do with superhero movies because it wasn't some Guardians of the Galaxy or Iron Man. Like Logan felt like more of a Western than it did a superhero film, you know? And I think that was really interesting, like in the scope of superhero movies, because it tried to do something that like really hasn't been done yet with those films. And it was, I don't know, it's probably one of the most meaningful like superhero films I've seen to date.
It had a history.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah.
I can see that.
You know, I mean, actually, I think there was a lot of movies that came out that made me wind up crying towards the end of it. Like, I cried at the end of Coco, for example. Did you guys see Coco?
No.
No, I did not, but I
You
heard
guys
Talk
really
about it.
Coco?
Tell us about it.
No, I
Oh
want to
my
watch
gosh.
it. I haven't gotten to.
It was really
this is
great.
so bad.
It was like, of course, it was a Pixar film, and that movie, like in itself, it had so many like, like made backgrounds, and the lighting was great. And when they went into like the world of Dia de los Muertos, there was like a bunch. There was like so much like work done. You could see for like miles, and like they went into like the actual work of that, and they showed how many different lights they made just to get that effect, and it was it was crazy, man. Like
The
I would not
rendering
have the time
times
for
on
it.
those machines.
Yeah,
must have been-
seriously.
I
Don't they have
went to the
warehouses built
Pixar
just to
Museum
render
are
stuff?
like kind
Yeah,
of
they
like
have render
exhibits.
it's like render
I went to that. I went
farms.
to that.
And
Yeah.
I looked a lot
Wow.
into their pipeline, and it's so crazy to me, but it makes super sense that they have like a render farm where there's
Yeah,
a bunch
you
of
just
different.
said
Oh, you
Literally
saw
just said that. Yeah. Yeah.
crazy.
Tell me more about the render farm, because
So-
I know it's like a big warehouse.
Right.
Yeah, it's like a huge
And
it's like a
render
huge
cows.
room or warehouse where they keep a bunch of computers and stuff, and they send stuff that they want to render over there to like get it
By themselves.
just because like they know how long it'll take to like render out all of the work they just did.
How long does it take?
I think it said that it took like weeks sometimes, or like a whole week.
Imagine if like there's like a fatal error or something when you're like
Oh,
when
yeah,
you're
I-
rendering
yeah,
live.
I talked about- I know
Definitely
there
has
was a point where I think it was the first Toy Story movie. I could be totally wrong about this. It was one of the Toy Story movies, where they got where they lost all of their progress. Like everything in the studio, the entire studio, everything got wiped from all computers because of some type of malware or something. And the only reason the movie was saved was because some secretary ended up taking, or not some secretary, I think it was an intern or something. I can't remember the details, but somebody who didn't know all of the rules of the studio mistakenly took work home with her, and
That's the reason it was saved.
that was the only reason the
Wow.
movie was
That's
saved.
insane.
Jeez.
They were over a year into production.
That's crazy.
I wonder if that intern got fired or if they got promoted.
No, they got praised.
Ooh.
They got praised, and the entire studio had a party.
Really?
From what I remember.
Moral of the story, kids. Just break the rules.
Rules are
Fuck
for
contracts.
breaking.
Okay, so I know we talked about a lot about movies, but let's move on to like some music stuff.
Music, that's my specialty. All right,
So
so,
what do you have?
Can we have a little iPod like?
Some
God.
DJ Roomba.
DJ Roomba.
step way back in time.
Shout out to Parks and Rec. Please make an
DJ
A.
Roomba. So do you guys have like, you guys all use Spotify or?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you guys-
I have Spotify Premium, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Get that Hulu too.
Uh-huh.
Do you guys use did you use their playlist or like wrap up 2017 like your playlist?
Yeah, I saw what like my review, what I missed. I still listen to like my daily mixes.
Yeah. Did you like what was your best songs on your like mix? That's like your year in review.
I know my top song was a song by the Orwells. It was their Southern Comfort song that came out in like 2015, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it's like a super like punk song. It's great. Yeah. And I got to see them live that year, which was like
That's
was like
really
my
awesome.
favorite like song.
There's this funky group called Body Language, and there's this one song that they have that they perform live, but it's not a live version. It's called You Can.
Mm-hmm.
By far my favorite song this year. It's not a 2017 song, but it's
Something
super
you discovered
funky.
in 2017.
Yeah, super funky, super fresh. I love it. It's my new favorite thing.
My top songs, actually, I think my top song, my top artist this year were it was a solo guitarist. He's he's the ex guitarist from Falling Reverse, it's a big post metal hardcore band. But he's also in like all these other independent projects that he's been working on. He just released an album with a bunch of his friends. They're Cry Venom. They're like this power metal band. But he himself had a solo album that he released 2 years ago, I think. And I've listened to that thing just on repeat during work. So Jackie Vincent was he was my number one. Yeah, he was my number one. It's just all screaming guitars. It was.
We like a lot of pretty different music then, don't we?
Yeah, I realized that.
I think one of the main songs that came out in 2017 that was on my year in review was this band Tupperware Remix Party, or They Go By Twerp, came out with their new EP Lady World, and my top song on there was their Overture, which is the intro to the album, just because I like on Spotify I'd always be like, yeah, I'm listening to this album again. So it was just like it would keep going up every time I listen to the album, and it's just it's really great because they're like a kind of like they're kind of really retro because they have like a lot of like kind of disco funky vibes to them, and they use like synths and like some like classic sounding guitar. It's wild.
Hell yeah, that's the stuff I like.
Yeah.
Do you guys find that you have more of album love or song love?
Song love, for sure.
With Spotify being like the way it is,
yeah,
it makes it easier
exactly.
to become like, oh, I love this song by this band. Do I know any other music by them? No, but I love this song. You know?
Yeah, I find that our culture is a lot more based on, like our generation is a lot more song based rather than when our parents were they used to listen to albums.
Yeah,
like
Metallica,
I've got a few albums from like when I was really getting into music, like all of the emo albums, like I've got specific ones, like obviously Welcome to the Black Parade is in there, but I've also got like I've got all of the albums from the Used. I can name their entire discography, you know, like so I'm probably more album based.
I mean, not to say that I don't still love albums. If I like a band enough, I will go out and I'll support them through buying their CD or something along the lines of like listening to the whole thing. Like I found Teenage Bottle Rocket last year, and I still listen to like They Came From the Shadows over and over and over again. That's like their like album that came out in like 2000 something.
Yeah. So a lot of new like albums actually did come out in 2017. A lot of artists who people did not expect to drop albums came out, like
the Gorillaz.
The Gorillaz. That was
Gorillaz.
insane.
I want to see them live.
I actually had a ticket and I didn't go.
You?
I sold it and I didn't go. I had no
You're
one
the
else
worst
to
kind
go
of
with.
person.
I had no one to go. I bought a ticket by myself, and then everyone was like,
I wouldn't need someone
no.
else to go with. I've done so many things where I'm just like, I'm going to this.
I didn't
I don't
go.
need you.
I regret it. I should have done it. I learned my lesson.
Yeah, like I've learned to just
But
be
I
like,
did make a good heavy profit of that.
Well, I want to talk about, if you don't mind, I want to talk about the Gorillaz for a second. Like, what did you guys think of it? Because I have been a long time fan of the Gorillaz.
Melancholy Island was like my jam.
Melancholy Hill.
Melancholy Hill, man.
Melancholy Hill. I was like,
Whatever. Or like their song Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Or
those are classics.
Those are classics. But this new album, unfortunately, I think a lot of people were pretty disappointed.
Yeah, I am not really a huge fan of hip hop or like rap at all, really in general. Besides Tyler the Creator and like any Odd Future stuff I like, but
I can see that.
Yeah, it wasn't really what I was expecting because Gorillaz, I mean, he's known for like obviously bringing in a lot of like guests and like trying new things, and I've always loved that about the Gorillaz because you get something of everything. But I feel like with this new album, it was just kind of like taking the popular trends and like the rap trends of like, you know how like in rap there's like the certain like bars, I guess you call them, and like how like there's the new age way of rapping, and it has the same sound. Like they did that a lot, and I was just kind of like, come on, I want to see something new from you guys, something like innovative, not taking the popular stuff. But
I mean, the Gorillaz has always had this kind of like kind of influence. Like there's a lot of your songs where like there will be like a really solid verse. So I feel like it kind of brought out like more of that side of them.
Yeah,
do your thing.
Russell always rips it out.
Do your thing before they took the break.
Yeah.
Love that. That was amazing.
I think maybe they should have focused more on their own individual sound with it, rather than bringing in people.
That's I feel like that goes against the nature of how Gorillaz has always operated though, because they've always brought in like different people, different collaborators. Yeah.
I think they're more about pushing the limits of collaboration.
Than
they are with
individual
making their own individual stuff.
So it's like, while I didn't like the album, I still respect them. I still respect like the production value, and the videos are pretty cool. So like,
oh yeah, the videos.
All in all, it's like
are
whatever.
Yeah, man.
If there's like one thing that I love for the Gorillaz above all else, it's the animation.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the music. Like I love all my favorite, like Demon Days and all that shit is my jam.
Yeah.
But I really love.
Another great thing about the Gorillaz is they're coming out with a TV show. or at least it was rumored. that they were
Really?
coming out with a television show. I'm not quite sure how true it is. I haven't really looked it up.
You know any other details, or-
television show?
Yeah.
I
heard
okay.
about that.
Real quick.
They had a live stream.
Do any of you remember if I had a second one or not?
No, you can help yourself. I mean, I'm pretty-
Okay.
Who has had how many?
I had one.
I know I
two.
had one for sure.
I have one of those ones.
Okay.
Then both of you have those.
Yeah. Mazel tov or whatever.
Muzzle top.
Mazel tov.
Well, how do you like their new style of animation? Because you know they always try with each new album. They
Yeah,
try for
I think
something new.
I think like they really kind of pushed. They really kind of
Sure.
pushed the compositing in this one.
Yep.
So I think that honestly, I think it went over pretty well. Like they really kind of nailed down the fact that that 2D and gang actually bleed over into the real world.
Yeah,
Because they
yeah.
got all of their proportions like. They're as tall and they're as proportionate as real people.
Well, they're still like really gangly. Though.
Yeah,
They're,
they
like-
are. Yeah, they're super gangly still.
Yeah.
The Gorillaz.
Yeah,
but,
obviously.
but I think some of the stylistic choices that they made really helped solidify that, and it was a really cool experiment.
Like the disco video is the one that I'm sure you're probably thinking of. That one was pretty cool. The song was whatever, but it was just more of an experience, I guess.
Yeah. You know, I kind of like it when artists like put a lot of work into their music videos.
Yeah.
Because I mean, honestly, in this day and age, not a lot of people need to see their music videos. But when like there's one good enough and people know about it and you see it and you can tell they actually put in a lot of work into it instead of it just being like normal like, oh, here's our band, we're performing our music. Look at this like slow like turning shot, it's like
Yeah.
when it's like really innovative and stuff, that's when I like a good music video.
Speaking of animation and music videos, what about Daft Punk's like anime album?
Oh, dude.
Daft Punk is like one of my favorite things. All right, we have to talk about 2017, one of the most anticipated year for Daft Punk fans and the whole fandom.
I was really thinking they were gonna come out with something.
So, if anyone who doesn't know out there, Daft Punk had in 1997 they released Alive, which opened up their new tour,
I love the live so much.
and then again 2007, 10 years later, Alive, 2007 new tour. People were like, oh my god, this is a decade thing. 2017, Daft Punk's coming back, they're going on a tour. There was even a fake video made about them going on tour. It was like Alive 2017. The entire fandom freaked out, and then they had to announce it was an entire hoax. Like it wasn't them that did it, someone else did it, and the video was taken down, everything was taken down off their site, everything.
It's like,
One of the most anticipated and let down of a year for Daft Punk.
you know what I respect about Daft Punk though? They do things their way.
They don't
Like,
give a fuck.
if they want to make music, they will literally make an album in one night. I'm sure they can work enough to do it. Because that's how they make music. I listened to like a bunch of like interviews with them like talking about their music. And Pharrell, so you guys know that song Get Lucky.
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah,
literally
love
said
it.
like they flew him to Paris.
You know,
He
Frankel.
got super high, and the next morning when he woke up, Get Lucky was there.
Wow.
Like, what?
They are probably they're they're so innovative. I just
Like,
love Daft Punk.
It's so
I'm a
great
huge
about
Daft
that.
Punk fan.
And like every album, like regardless of your feelings about electronica, it's
There's
different.
something,
can't-
there's something
it's
to
great.
be appreciated about
Yeah,
it. No
you
matter
can't,
if you
like-
didn't like it that much or something you're like, wow, like, this is so
Or, like-
weird and innovative and nothing I would have ever expected
Yeah.
Excuse me.
at all.
Like Ram was so different. It really was. Like it had more like jazz and like classical instruments. It was wild. But like it still felt like Daft Punk. You know?
Yeah, it was such. I was upset that they didn't come out.
Did they say anything about it?
They have a bunch of merch on their store.
Dude, have you guys been on their store? They
Insane.
have.
They have the weirdest stuff.
Dude,
The
I love the
weirdest stuff.
promotions though, because it looks so retro.
Yeah, everything's
All
like
of
super
it.
retro. It
Like-
kind of reminds me of like Stranger Things, like that kind of like 80s
The
vibe.
80s, yeah.
So it's really retro.
Mm-hmm.
Like baked.
Yeah,
Kind of.
really cool.
Mhm.
I really love that.
But like,
Neon.
Anyone have any
stuff.
guilty pleasures? Like, I don't know, Sam Smith, new album. Anyone listen to it?
I haven't. You know, I know
No?
that one song by him. What is it? The really popular one.
Too Good Advice.
No, it's not that one.
Lay Me Down.
I don't know what any of the songs sound like now.
How about anyone guilty pleasures of Ed Sheeran? You guys
Oh, dude, I love Shape of
fans.
You. Shape of You is a
I
great
know who he
jam.
is. I'm not a fan of him.
I only like Shape
He
of
went
You.
double platinum within the first like 6 weeks of his first album.
Very impressive, but I don't really understand.
I like Shape of You though.
All right, how about Khaled?
Dude,
Never heard
American teen. American, like
Khaled?
I didn't know he was like a teenager.
He's 19 years old.
He's 19 years old.
He's younger than us and
He's like
has more talent than I'll ever have in my
He-
entire
Wasn't
life.
the panda guy like 18 though when he first
Panda.
came?
Panda.
The panda guy.
You
I got
listen
bros
to
in
them,
that
you
one.
should really listen to them. They're like, they're relaxing, honestly.
Yeah,
they're
like,
very
it's-
good songs.
his
They're
songs,
it's well produced, well
Location.
made. Location.
like I jam out to
It's
that.
they're very good songs. He only has one album. It's American Teen, and each song on that album is like
It's
very
really
well
good.
done.
I'll
It's
check
really
it out.
good.
I've
Or
never heard of it.
You know that song? It
College?
plays on the radio. It's like Young Dumb Broke High School Kids. No? I like kind of parodied a status. I was like Young Dumb Broke College Kids.
I tried getting into rap this year because one of my really good friends
There's some good rap.
loves.
Hobson came out with.
I'm
an
so sorry.
album.
Okay, so there's a rapper known as Hobson.
I know who he is.
You
No,
heard? Listen,
he's a sweetie.
I don't
He
get.
is my favorite human.
I don't understand where he came from. Like
he came
what's,
out of the woods.
Yeah, like what is?
Literally. No, I'm
Like,
just
wait,
kidding.
he lives in Grapevine, Texas, so like
Yeah.
represent Texas.
Post Malone has to be the human embodiment of what I ever will aspire to be.
He's very sweet.
Like who is Post Malone? Like
He's young Stoney.
I just I don't know. I just never. I
I
never
like him
understood.
because his album ranges from rap to almost Lumineers.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. Like he goes from one extreme to the other in one whole album.
It's so crazy to me because like I heard his album like when he was releasing all those songs, and then like he finally made the album, and I'm like, wow, this is really great. But it's great to me to still see like mainstream media is still following his songs. Like I Fall Apart is like the new like everybody loves that like new mainstream song
Candy
that he
Paint.
put out.
Candy Paint's so good.
Yeah, or
Rockstar.
everybody like Rockstar. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of
I just
Rockstar,
wanna
but I
be a
like.
dude.
I guess I fell into that
awful.
theory of like I heard it enough to where I was like, yeah, I like this song.
It's a good song. It's not horrible. It's not the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's not the worst
I
thing,
can
but it's like
flavor it.
of all the songs he came out with, I was like, yeah, it was alright. You know?
But I think also people just love him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's just so.
He's
No,
really
it's-
like despite having tattoos all over
Yeah,
his
the way
face,
he looks is just not.
and like
don't judge
he's
a book by
really
its cover.
like his manners, like you can tell he's from Texas because like Texas people are full of manners. They'll apologize for anything.
Full of that southern,
And they're really
southern
nice.
hospitality.
I like that modern like rap is sort of transformed into not like instead of rapping about like hustling and like getting women and like stealing and buying drugs, all that stuff. It's about like anything really now, and I like that it's sort of branched out into more stuff. And then we have people like Post Malone and Aesop Rock, who I really like, and I guess
And Dizzy
you're
Wright.
casually racist rapper like Hobson.
I mean, if we want to talk, about other people
I can
from
show
the
you
funk
why
volume,
the songs of his I do like because he has some really great emotional songs that you haven't heard.
But it
But
doesn't
if I did show you
matter.
them,
if we want to talk about half decent people from the funk volume movement,
Oh, like
we can
Jaron-
talk about
like Jaron
Dizzy
Benton.
Wright. Jaron Benton is a disgrace
he's
to
the
humanity.
Coat killer. Anyway,
let's
okay,
not
but
go
he has
there.
some worse songs
But
than
Dizzy,
Hobson for sure.
but Dizzy Wright is
Dizzy Wright's very
Dizzy
respectful.
Wright's like he's a good guy. He's
Yeah.
like all of his rapping is about working hard and having values to get where you are and not compromising your values for anything or anyone.
Yeah.
And he put out what was it, 4 projects this last year?
Yeah.
2 albums, a full EP, and then another album that he had 3 or 4 actual like full songs on.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially 2 EPs. Like the dude pumps out music like a freaking sweatshop.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
and all of his stuff is good. And I don't think he gets enough credit, like even in mainstream rap.
Like
Because
the two most like people who I respect for putting out stuff all the time is him and Tech Nine. I don't know if you guys know who Tech Nine is. His like 2 most popular songs are like He made a song called Hood Go Crazy. That was all over the radio. He made a song called, what is it? It featured I think it featured Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar made Damn. That was really great. Humble was great. DNA was great.
Sit down.
Element.
Element. Oh, dude, Element was probably one of my favorites.
Element was, I think, was my favorite.
Yeah,
All
it's
that
so
album.
good.
I always get confused because I know Dizzy has Demdrick on his line.
Kendrick.
And I'm like,
Another,
but I know Kendrick Lamar.
Another
I do.
album.
I'm not that much of a shut-in.
Yeah.
I'm not that much of a rock and roll shut-in.
It's like, it was everywhere when it came out. Like, as soon as I walked into the equipment room and one of my buddies already had it like playing. And it was just like, yep, it came out today.
Another album that I think got overlooked and I like a lot is Jaden Smith's Sire. Because I think it got overlooked because no one can take that man seriously.
Look at his tweets.
Okay, but now I understand.
When he was 15.
But okay, if you don't know what Sire's about, he literally kind of did a David Bowie thing where he makes a story and creates an album based off the story of this alter ego called Sire. And you have to listen to the album in order. I mean, you don't have to, but
It gives context.
I highly recommend you listen to the album in order. It tells the entire story, and it's probably, it's just absolutely one of, it honestly is really underlooked, and even Icon, even though a lot of people do know that song, not enough people know that song. That song is so good. Icon is a good song.
Will Smith knows it.
Will Smith knows it.
Oh yeah, there's that Instagram video floating around.
Bro. His dad knows.
His bro. I mean, they probably are
I feel
more
like
bros
they
than
are
dads.
more like bro.
Yeah.
Do you watch the famous YouTube music reviewer guy?
Oh my gosh.
Santano.
I think I might have seen like a few.
Bald, wears like a checkered. You know what
The
I'm
Needle
talking
Drop.
The Needle Drop. What's his name though?
Anthony Fantano.
Anthony Fantano, that's right. He reviewed Sire.
And what did he say?
I loved it.
Don't tell me it's bad things.
Yeah, of course. Of course it's bad things. The production value is great because he has the money for it, but essentially I'm not going to judge it because I haven't, but that's what he said. Like, production value obviously is going to be the best. But he's a new rapper and he tries so hard to be so like original and unique.
He
and
took
go
2
against
years.
I'm the counterculture. That's what he is. And I'm gonna be honest, Jaden Smith's a little bit of a cocky kid, and that's why I don't like him. I don't like his attitude.
I'll give you that.
I mean, when Will
but he
Smith's your
did take
dad.
2 years to put this album out.
No,
he sat on this for 2 years of it,
No,
making
I
it as
heard-
good as he can.
I heard he did really put a lot of like
put a lot of
effort into
effort.
it, which I respect that. So, maybe I'll give it a listen someday.
Listen in order. Start with B L U.
Probably not ever.
Like
but
Blue?
Well, it goes like B, and then the next song's L, and the next song's U, and the next song's E.
See, he's so edgy. He's so edgy. He's so original.
That's great. That's pretty
It's so
rad.
He's an icon legend.
I just like it. I don't
Is
know
it
why.
ICON or just Icon?
No, Icon just like the name of the song.
Oh, okay.
But I actually
He's an
know
icon.
the guy who that sample. Like I know the person that made that sample.
Oh, that's
And
really
he has
cool.
like a lot of money now because Jaden Smith bought a sample.
Nice. Was he like a Drexel dude or?
No, he's just a random guy.
Oh, nice.
Can you imagine like you make a sample of something and someone big like picks up on it?
I mean, if I ever made any music, I would be impressed. Period. Okay, so talking about Jaden Smith, like he was in that really bad anime called Neo Yokio, which featured a lot of really weird stuff, such as like which bachelor was the most eligible,
And
That's
blatant
pretty good.
Toblerone
which,
placement,
which
product
one
placement.
wanted the really big Toblerone for some reason. But like
So-
besides that really bad anime, there was a lot of other good stuff. Like
Let's talk about Neo Yoki a little bit.
okay,
To talk about Jaden Smith. And
But that was a great transition, guys.
I don't want to just outright like shit talk him because at the end of the day he's still learning and growing and can't entirely blame him from the environment that he was raised in. Of course he's gonna be like think he's a godsend because from legendary Will Smith, but yeah,
Will
like
Smith.
actually.
I'm like,
But Neo Yokio, it's bad. And
There's no other way.
it is.
Well,
No, it's not meant to be good. I don't think.
no,
it-
yeah,
it
that's the
was
thing.
meant to be
That's the thing.
stupid.
A lot of people are like, "Oh my God, it's
A
so
lot of it was
horrendously
based
bad."
off of like
Yes.
Jaden Smith.
It's commentary.
Yeah.
It's commentary
It was-
on.
It was really cool for what it did, which is why I watched it.
No, it was failed commentary.
I don't know.
No.
This is a lot of Sarah telling me no.
Because I
I'm
feel
in
like-
Sarah's
I feel
ballpark
hurt.
with this one.
I feel like Jaden Smith, like, his whole like thing is that he's like, I want to be the counterculture. I want to put something out there that's like new and unique and is like goes against the grain of everything else and makes commentary on society. And that's what Neo Yokio was, because he helped produce it, he helped direct it and stuff. So he had a say in it, along with Vampire Weekend, dude. Like, what?
I love Vampire
So
Weekend.
weird.
They're coming back for one single.
Great.
Thing.
The guy loves the music. Shouldn't make anime, but
No, we shouldn't, because his
Yeah.
production team is really bad.
But it was attempted satire, and attempted satire gone wrong is Neo Yokio. Like, there hasn't, and it's unique, and it's, you know, cool, and it's like, it was entertaining to watch, but also like extremely painful. So it's amazing in its
Was
own
it
way.
entertaining? Was it entertaining?
Was
What-
it so bad
Can
that
we-
it was
can we-
entertaining?
I
No,
think
you
you
know
know
Is that what you're trying to
entertains.
say?
It teetered between so bad it's entertaining and so bad like, oh my god, I just really don't want to be here watching this right now.
And I think
so
that's,
it's really like confused. Like, if it were just bad, like The Room, great. You know, that The Room is like one of my
And you
favorite
can just
movies
get
ever.
into the fact that it's so bad.
Yeah, like
that's
it
what-
was one of my favorite movies ever. But Neo Yokio is like pretentious, and it's like, we're bad, haha, look at how bad we are. Laugh at us, we're so bad. And it's like so obviously that they're like.
And
trying to
that's
do that. It's
why
like,
it fails.
It's like,
as
shut the fuck
satire.
up. Like, I don't care. Stop telling me what to think. Like, I hate you.
Yeah, I hate. Dallas made me
Yeah,
sit
man.
through. Dallas made me sit through an entire 30 minutes of this anime. And oh man.
But
Dallas made me sit through an entire 30 minutes of this
Yeah,
anime.
actually, it was a whole hour and 30 minutes. I made tacos.
Boy,
they were good.
was it. All of it
I feel like
did.
the tacos really helped
All of
us,
it
though.
did was try to point at itself and
Yes,
say,
exactly.
I'm Jaden Smith. I've got a robot that talks with a funny accent.
well, it's like, yeah, like,
It's so prim and proper. No, you're annoying.
No.
You're annoying. It's just.
well, for me, it wasn't about the fact that it was Jaden Smith. It was that it was Jaden Smith being like, haha, look at me, I'm Jaden Smith. You know how I'm Jaden Smith, this annoying, like, rich kid asshole? Let me turn that into an anime character and then make fun of myself while I'm playing myself. So it's like, but I don't like you, but you're making fun of yourself, so that's cool, but I don't like you. But, like, you're trying to say something here, but I don't like you. So it's like,
Well, there was
confusing.
a lot of good anime.
No,
that came
yes,
out in
that's a good
2017.
segue.
Like Baruto.
okay. So
You mean
I'm gonna
Baruto's
segue.
dad's son?
Yeah, you know, the adventures of Naruto's son.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Naruto, really popular anime. It had like
I see
600
that.
episodes so far.
Yeah.
And when it ended,
So far,
they
it's done.
decided to make a show about his offspring, Baruto. And so far, it's
Cash
actually
grab.
kind of cool.
Why do they have to name him
Cash grab.
the
Arce.
same thing?
But I like watching it. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great for, like, as a standalone show, I don't think it works at all, but I think it's great for people
Continuing
who
the Naruto
love
universe.
people who love Naruto, like diehard fans, and they're like, oh my god, it's the product of those two people that I shipped all those years ago. It's like, well, you know, yeah, you get your dreams, your fanfics realized, you know, but other than that, I don't think it works. It's kind of boring on its own.
I mean, a lot of the episodes are kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie, but
a lot of good anime,
but
the episodes
but-
are bad.
as the show stands, it really like I thought it wasn't gonna capture the feel of the like Naruto ninja universe.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting with the fact that they actually pushed other things in it.
No,
like
yeah.
there's like technological innovations. There's like a
And
bunch
there's-
of other stuff. And
There's a really cool episode that came out maybe more recently than the end of 2017, but I think it's worth talking about. There was an episode about a bank robber with a suicide vest on, and he's in the game industry. This guy, he quit his job. He hated his boss. And he hated society. He regretted society for pushing him to his limits because there's this really big there's this really common thing in game production called crunch, and it's this really sucky culture, and it's really widely accepted thing where towards the end of a game production cycle, within the last couple months, as you're like really kind of hitting up against the end of the deadlines, everybody's in a rush, putting in 16, 17-hour days at the office, with no time to sleep, think, or do anything not related to the game. You cannot exist outside of the studio space, and any time that you do get is you're gonna be just left with flashing images. I'm sorry, I'm going way too in this. But so this crunch culture, it was really cool to me, and it really hit home. Well, one, because this is my area of study, and it's not only widely accepted across my field, but it's also a standard of my department. Like us in digital media, we crunch all the time towards the end of projects.
Oh yeah,
and I have film and
rendering.
editing. Anybody in Westfall does.
Yeah.
So to see that, and to see it in Japan, where I know suicide rates are super duper high. It's really cool for me to see a big show with as big of a name as Naruto taking on, like, I don't even know if it would be a risk because of how wide of an audience these topics stretch. Like, these are sensitive topics, yes, but they need to be talked about. And I'm happy they did talk about it, and I'm super excited about the way that about the type of person that they did talk about. Because it was able to strike so many different chords with so many different people, and you could tell it was a personal matter to the animators and to the producers and the writers of that episode specifically.
And I think all in all, as far as the anime industry, how it's evolving, and how anime in other cultures and our culture especially is becoming more prevalent, such things as like working conditions in the anime industries, if you guys don't know, absolutely horrible. Pay is much less than minimum wage. It's like working in a sweatshop with insane crunch times and deadlines. And as it becomes more popular, there's more awareness is being brought to it, and funding and money is being, like, people are getting more money for what they're doing, and it's slowly improving. So I think that's really, to segue off of your point, I think it's really great that more attention is being brought to it, because it was a huge, huge problem. And because it's becoming so popular, having better working conditions, better products can be produced. Segue into Made in Abyss. Have you guys seen it? Have you guys seen Made in Abyss or heard of it?
No, I have not.
So Made in Abyss is, it's an anime. My favorite anime of 2017. It was only shown on Amazon Prime. It wasn't on Crunchyroll, so not as many people saw it. But basically, it's a story, it's really unique, of a girl who's about 10 years old who wants to travel into this big pit because her society is centered around this big pit. And there's weird ancient relics in the pit, and people go down, and like they're, from a young age, they're raised to dive into these, spelunk into this big pit and pull out these relics. But there are layers to the pit, and I think there's 7 layers. And the first layer, of course, is like the thinnest. It's not that big of a deal. There are some monsters, but it's not that big of a deal. But the deeper you go, the crazier it gets, to like Dark Souls level, like crazy monsters. And the farther down you go, the chance of you being able to get back up is much lower, because it's like there's magic surrounded by the pit. So if you go down to like layer 5 and you want to go back up, your eyes will start to bleed, you'll get nauseous, so on and so forth. And then if you go down to pit 7, you can't go back up, you'll die. So it's a unique concept, but why do I like it? It's really beautiful, and they took on a lot of like Western people to produce like the music. The music and the soundtrack is made by this random Australian guy. Like, that's crazy. Like, Japanese anime production places don't ever use Western influences. So I think, wow, cool. Like Western people are actually like breaking into the anime world. Besides New Yokio, they're breaking into the world of anime. It's really great. And the background is Hayao Miyazaki created background, so it's very pretty. And I don't know, I love it. You guys haven't seen it, so there's not much of a discussion. More of just a pitch for me to tell you guys to watch it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Is it still on Amazon?
It's on Amazon, yeah. It's on Amazon Prime, so you can watch it.
Cool.
It's absolutely amazing.
What is it
Made in Abyss.
Not Into the Abyss. Okay. Made in Abyss.
Made in Abyss.
You know, it's like it's becoming increasingly like, I don't want to say difficult, but it's because I mean there are like amalgamations of people, such as like the VRV service made by Crunchyroll, which has like a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, it's confusing.
But there's still like even with like movies and like games and stuff, there's so many different platforms you have to watch out for. Like for example, I mean, even though a lot of things wind up being on the same platform, there will be like, okay, Destiny 2 released on consoles.
Yeah.
A couple months after it did on PC. But when things like that, before, I apologize. Before it came out on PC. But the thing is with that is that it's becoming increasingly harder to keep people on a particular platform. Like for example, as soon as like, people find out Amazon Prime has anime, some people may leave something to go see what's on there, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's just, it's becoming really hard to like kind of, what platform do I want to use, you know? Because it's no longer just like Netflix is a thing. Now it's like Netflix and Hulu is a thing. Now it's like Crunch. I mean, not everybody can have both.
Yeah. Gone are the days
I like Hulu
of.
because it's good for TV shows. It updates very regularly. Like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, every time there's a new episode, I get to watch it.
Gone are the days
As
of
long as there's ads.
you can watch TV or you can watch Netflix. Gone
Yeah.
are those days.
There
TV
is
is
no more,
basically
yeah.
there's no more TV, so everyone's trying to seize up their slice of the amazing Netflix pie. And Netflix, you know, people are like, oh, we're taking our stuff off of Netflix and we're gonna make our own streaming thing. Like Disney's doing their
Yeah,
own
like Disney's
thing.
doing that. Like why?
We all
Disney?
knew Disney. Oh, come
Dude,
on.
Yeah.
Disney's a
Disney's
dynasty. I
like-
knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Disney's
And
all
it's
about
just
that mun.
it's literally just turning into cable again.
Yeah.
So like you're paying for your channels, which are like your streaming services, and it's stupid. And I'm gonna miss it. And I'm gonna remember. I'm gonna tell my kids, hey kids, remember the good old days? No, I mean, hey kids, I remember the good old days.
You remember the good old days?
I remember the good old
Hey,
days
children.
where you just watch Netflix or you just watch TV. There wasn't all this other bullshit that you had to go through.
Yeah, it's crazy. Man.
It's too bad. It's too bad.
Yeah.
And that's why Netflix is pumping out like all these shows because they want to have enough shows to make people want to stay on the platform, and that's
Yeah.
what Amazon's doing
Eventually, like Netflix's price has nowhere to go but up. We're gonna start paying more and more for Netflix. It's
Yeah.
coming out. I can tell. Like they keep raising the price like every couple months. Well, aren't you lucky?
Well, that's the great thing about
My sister
Netflix.
pays for my Netflix.
That's the great thing about Netflix still is that you can still use your friends and stuff. And I heard they were gonna limit that eventually too, like how many people can log in at a certain time.
But they do. You can only have 3 people.
Jeez.
Logged in at a time? Or
That's
no,
crazy.
watching at the same time.
Well, yeah. I mean, why else would you do that?
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't really just.
That's
know.
true.
Let me look through the shows.
Well, like you know,
I can pretend.
You can limit to how many devices are being used. So like we found that this is a
like
new
the
device.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, like this is a new device logged on to Netflix. Like
Xfinity
you need
Wi-Fi
to
does
pay
that.
for more. Yeah.
Do
Um,
Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspots, they do that.
Really?
You can only have a certain amount of devices on the
Wow.
Xfinity hotspot.
That's weird.
Bullshit.
Let's move into. We've talked a lot about platforms,
Yep.
and I think one of the biggest platform controversies happens a lot with video games, because with video games, you know, you get things like the Xbox, you get things like Nintendo, you get things like PlayStation,
You get things like Monster Hunter coming out and then not being available for PC for another 9 months.
and then you know you eventually get like a PC port that doesn't work. Looking at you, Arkham Knight, and then you know things like that. So it's really important to notice what video games. There's a lot of different like platforms things, and we have to look at what video games really do well.
Game review.
What is this, PewDiePie? Have you guys watched PewDiePie's channel?
2017 game review.
Meme review.
Yes.
But can you do that? I'm sorry. Stop. Stop perpetuating the memes.
No, hey, listen. It's fine to perpetuate the memes as long as you're not reading.
No,
about
I'm
it.
trying to stop with the memeing.
I'll never stop
It's an
memeing.
addiction. It needs to.
Is it an
needs to
addiction?
flitter
Are
away.
memes an addiction? Are they?
That's
There's
a question for another episode.
You know
Yeah,
what?
memes.
Next episode confirmed. We're talking about memes, man. Memes. There are memes.
Gaming memes.
all
Oh,
over
I
entertainment.
got tons of VR chat to go through. Tons of it. Tons of it. Spherical.
Perpetuate.
Perpetuate. Okay. Yeah. 2017. We got lots in review for 2017.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about platforms? Destiny 2 was released on console, like you said, in September of this last year,
The Nintendo Switch.
and Nintendo Switch was
Nintendo Switch new things.
You know what? Cardboard.
cardboard
You can
Nintendo
purchase
Switch.
Nintendo cardboard. How
16.
cool is that?
Okay, that is a really.
It was 16
cool
because
thing.
Can we not?
I will tell you
Zelda
why.
came out. Zelda came out right around the time Final Fantasy 15 came out,
I
right?
don't know what they're talking about. So I don't
No,
think-
the
We're talking about
Switch came
Zelda.
out. Yes, the Switch did come out early 2017.
Early 2017.
My
when Wind Waker came out. Or I'm sorry, Wind Waker.
Wind
remastered.
Waker. Okay,
Wow.
can we?
I'm
Can we?
sorry.
Oh, let's backtrack.
Yeah,
I'm
back up.
sorry. When Majora's Mask remastered.
Let's
sorry.
backtrack a little bit.
That's my speed.
We want to talk about.
Boy.
We want to talk about games and
Breath
consoles.
of the Wild.
We're
We
gonna have a
had
conversation.
we had Nintendo's.
Don't mind us.
Yeah.
Okay. Nintendo new console came out this year, the Switch, which shipped with some pretty awesome games. There was a lot of talk early on about the Switch not shipping with a big enough library or a substantial enough library that people were concerned about it being able to hold its weight. But they finally came out with a first proper I want to say
Amazing
proper
game.
open world Zelda, but the first
100 years.
the first this open world Zelda is the most insane Zelda that they've probably produced in terms of sheer scale. I
Yep.
mean, the scope of the game is it's awesome to see. From all the shading techniques that they used to just the scope of the design of the game, playing through the game, you never feel you never feel railed, you never feel train tracked into doing something. And I thought that was a pretty amazing feat for something that's on a console as flat as a pizza box. You know, it boggles my mind.
Yeah. All right. So I'd hate to cut this here. I love talking to you guys, but
All
for
of
the
our
sake of
viewers.
people getting pizza, we're gonna have to stop it here. But you know what?
But
I love you
Nintendo Cardboard
guys.
was a great thing, and I'll tell you why next episode. Bye.
Alright, we're gonna talk about memes, and we're gonna talk about Nintendo Cardboard. We're gonna talk more about
enjoy it.
video
It's really
games,
cool.
movies, music, you name it. Next episode, be there or be square. This is People Getting Pizza signing off.
We're stuck.
We're just some people getting pizza.